Hey, it's Kent Philly. Thanks for coming back again today to the StakeRocketPool channel. Excited to jump in to a new opportunity that is available for the degens out there. I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the crypto markets with Operation Choke Point in full steam ahead, meaning that the US government is continuing to chase after and attack new companies like Coinbase as of yesterday. Today is March 24th of 2023. And so we've got a long road ahead with regulation. But the good news is that decentralization will likely win. And there's a lot of good reasons around that, but I will not rant. I will get down and dirty into opportunities in the Rocket Pool community within DeFi. Here I am sharing my screen in the Rocket Pool DeFi guide. This is always available as a link below this video. The cool thing that I wanted to highlight here is this nutty opportunity in Silo. So Silo has 30 million on Ethereum already on top of it. It's a DeFi app that allows you to do borrowing of their native stablecoin and then to leverage it. And so Valdorf, who goes by Val, has a way that you can degen on Silo, and that is to first lend out your rETH, borrow ETH from the XAI, the stablecoin that you borrowed against, or just borrow ETH like they're suggesting here and not borrowing the stablecoin. You swap your ETH for rETH and then continue to repeat to the optimal level where you're at a higher loan to value of around 50%, but not too close to the liquidation, which is, I believe, 85%. So to do this perfectly, you would flash loan for the amount of ETH that you'd like to get back, swap for rETH, lend rETH, borrow ETH, pay back the flash loan. Definitely requires some scripting. This is some high risk opportunity, but it's actually lower risk than some degen DeFi things of the past. And the good news why it's lower risk can be highlighted here in a Twitter thread and then on the Silo documentation. So Silo, zooming in here, just started offering rETH in February. So Silo's key value prop is the risk isolated lending markets. So you can still earn your ETH staking rewards with your rETH coupon for your staked ETH, and then you can earn interest from people borrowing against it, or you can fold it, as Valdorf was highlighting, to get more increased yield. So by taking your rETH, borrowing ETH against it, and then going and buying more rETH. So what we just talked about is now highlighted in this visual infograph that it's secure money markets because the only thing you're allowed to borrow would be ETH or XAI, which is their stable coin. So the suggested opportunity here is that as of actually today, you can earn 10% just by depositing onto the Silo app. That is super exciting. I'm over here on the Silo app itself. I have found the right market. It's pretty easy to do. We'll go back and just click on markets. And as usual, when you try to refresh, things slow down. So I zoomed in a bit. So we're going to type in rETH, and boom, we found the market. We can see that there's about $370,000 here, less than Coinbase as well as Lido's wrap staked ETH. And to me, that's exciting. You can see that there are high Silo incentives. So the liquidity mining is a common way to get token holders to come to that platform. And so here we have, how I would earn rewards. So they're saying I would earn 4.6 7% a year in rETH rewards just by depositing and lending out my rETH. That's really exciting, as well as 5.34% in Silo. So the first thing you have to do is always to allow. So I'm going to do this now. Gas isn't that expensive. I'm now signing in my wallet, which always takes extra time, and I'm glad it doesn't come up here on the screen, because giving away your secret PIN or giving away your backup is the last thing that you'd want to do. That is the quickest way to get wrecked. And there's a lot of good lessons to learn in DeFi and crypto in general about holding your own keys. The great news is that Rocketpool is permissionless. It's enabled on DeFi. You can hold your own keys and you can use a hardware wallet. I love hardware wallets. It took me a little while to get there, like most people, but now I have a couple of them. And I am now attempting to approve the contract. You can see it's now approving. Let's learn a little bit more information about this opportunity for rETH on Silo. We can see that the max loan to value is 80%. So if I put down, one ETH or one rETH, I could borrow 80% of that. So that's higher than you can on Aave today. And you can see that the liquidation threshold where they would then take your collateral is at 85%. So just 5% more than the max LTV. And the maximum you could get charged for being liquidated is 15%. And so it's never good to be liquidated. And you can avoid that by not getting ever close to the max LTV. So they're breaking down the APR on a daily basis here. We can see it just popped off on March 15th, and that is probably due to increased borrowing. We're going over the utilization that they have currently. We can see that it's currently at 9% utilization, and optimal would be in the middle. That means that individuals who are supplying are also borrowing. And optimal would mean that you're earning the most money possible as a depositor. And there's a lot of interest from the market to borrow at those rates because they see the opportunity to get compounding yields. Now, currently, the option to fold is not natively available here in Silo, but hopefully another app will build on top what Valdorf was talking about, where you could fold and set multiple transactions into an atomic transaction to get the highest amount of return with just a few clicks. And so great news. We can see that Oracle is Chainlink. Oracles are really important to ensure there's limited manipulation in DeFi. It's a simple way of putting it in my mind. And when you see that an Oracle is using Chainlink, that is the tier 1 best Oracle available today. Oracle network, that is. So this is the information available on this specific pool. Now, great, I get to deposit. It accepted my authorization transaction. Gas has gone down a bit. I am now having to sign in my wallet, re-update my wallet to be prepared to sign. Patience is key in crypto because often you're dealing with experimental technology. And you've got to check twice before you execute. So I am using the Frame wallet on top of a Trezor hardware wallet. You're not able to see. I'm just showing my Silo app. But while we wait for myself to deposit half an rETH into that Silo vault, let's jump into the Silopedia or the documentation. I love looking at the docs to better understand each protocol. So let's see if I described it well enough to you all and what is Silo Finance. So they call it secure money markets for all crypto assets, pardon me. So with Silo, users are able to lend and borrow assets. It's permissionless. That's a great thing. I mean, it's probably on top of, it is on top of Ethereum and Arbitrum. And isolated risk is very exciting, hence the name Silo. So you don't have to worry about exotic tokens being listed and then a chance for a hacker to want to create a lot of volatility in the market. They have been very specific to pick, tokens and to isolate those tokens where the only assets that you can borrow would be Ethereum or would be their stablecoin XAI. So not being able to borrow any additional assets and their structure has enabled Silo to be a competitive offering. I like jumping into farming opportunities. Whenever I see it, I look a bit further. They're telling some suggestions on how you can farm with the XAI stablecoin. Now, this is something we could do if we did not want to fold our rETH into more rETH, because the options we have. Awesome. So now I am earning a 0.106% APY. And if I want to, I can then go to borrow. And you can see that I can borrow up to 80% of what I deposited. And if I were to take out, a health factor of around, I always like to stay green to keep a low health factor. So this would be only, 20% if I got it to 80 here. So I'd be borrowing $160 against my $1,000. And I could do that, but this is on Ethereum mainnet. So to be able to borrow and then restake and basically do the folding will cost me a lot of transactions. And I'd rather just let my assets sit for now until I know that there is a bear market or clear bull market trend shift. And then I could go and add on the leverage and fold. I personally don't like to fold or take too much leverage because it just adds risk and decreases, how much comfort I have in the price going too far down or too far up. I believe long-term numbers are only up, but the good news I've learned is that patience tells me it takes time to get there, meaning I've lost a lot of money being impatient. So I'm really working on now changing up the game. So hopefully that was helpful to see how to use Silo Finance to be able to jump in the docs. If you have any questions, please do let us know. And that is me. I also have a team on StakeRocketPool who does infrastructure named Matt Bergwall. Love to help anybody get further into DeFi within Rocketpool or any other questions you have. Thanks so much.